York's classic rock, Q1043.
Welcome back. Jonathan Clark here on Q1043's Out of the Box. We are joined in the studio by a band from beautiful downtown Limerick, Ireland, where I'd love to go one day because I am sort of Irish, I guess. It's a band that has sold just a few albums over the years, 40 million or so, and that I've been playing on various radio stations around the metropolitan area since, 1993. I think it's 3 or 4 different radio stations. Anyway, we've got Dolores and Noel from the Cranberries. How are you guys?
Hey,
Great.
Jonathan.
Good,
How are
thanks.
Thank you so much for coming by. I just want to play a quick refresher course. Not that you guys need it, but I'm going to play. I have a reason why I'm going to play this. Here we go. Yeah. This one that gets played all around the world still. And then this one, of course, which I love. And this one. But you can't hear it because the mics are on. But I am playing Zombie, Dreams, and Linger, 3 of the biggest songs from the band. There's a new album, and let's hold up the album here. It's called Something Else, and it has those 3 songs on it and all these other great songs, including some new ones, but the older songs are sort of reimagined, right?
Yes.
So what inspired this?
Well, it was our 25th anniversary, so we thought it would be nice to do something special for the fans. For
Yeah.
The 25th. So we thought that we'd take a lot of the songs out of our set list and take our hits and re-record them with a quartet. So that's what we did.
Ah, yeah. The version of Linger on here is amazing. You know, it's really funny. That song, I hadn't played it for a while, and the same thing happened to me when I first heard the song. I kept that song in my head. It would not leave my head for the entire day, the chorus.
Yes.
And it happened again yesterday with
That's
the
great.
with the new version. Did this sort of kind of start with a request from the city of Limerick for you to perform with the Irish Chamber Quartet or something?
Yes,
Or
in 2012, Limerick got an award. It was the City of Culture. It was a European award that it received. And New Year's Eve, there was a concert and fireworks and all that, and they asked me to perform. So I performed 5 songs with a quartet, including Zombie and Ode to My Family and Linger and another couple. And they sounded lovely, so I thought, well, these songs really work acoustically. And then about 2 years ago, the TV show, the American show, The Bachelorette.
oh my God, I read
doing
about
a
this. You got to
show.
tell me about this.
Yeah,
This is
they were
insane.
doing the grand finale, where at the end this couple end up together or something. I don't follow the show, but the viewership was 8 million or something like
It's
that. So
insane,
it was
yeah.
good exposure, and they asked us to do Linger. So I thought it might be good to try, and because a lot of young people watch that show, so they might hear the song and they might go, "Oh, that's a nice band,"
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other generations since the 90s, like.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So we said we'd do it, and again, it was with a quartet. So myself and Noel thought at that moment maybe we should do an album with a quartet.
Ah, okay. So for the Bachelorette show, did you go to some like exotic island and were there like wine and roses and things like this
No,
happening
it was,
when?
it was actually filmed in Dublin in
Oh.
Christchurch.
Oh, wow.
Inside a beautiful church, a
Yeah.
really gorgeous church, and we were up where the altar would be in the middle of the church. But what was kind of like, we did 5 takes on our own with the quartet.
Yeah.
But then at the end, they started doing takes with this couple coming up, and your man starts kissing her, and I think he proposed and all this. I was trying to just concentrate on my part, really.
Right.
And,
Yeah. That's amazing. But you probably turned on a lot of young kids to the Cranberries' early work
Yes,
just by
a lot
that
of
show.
people
Yeah.
watch those reality TV shows are very popular. Like,
Well, those reality shows, I like to call them unreality shows
Yeah.
because it's really not reality in
Yeah.
our world, in my world. So you decided to record all these new songs and some of the old songs at the University of Limerick. Is that where it was?
yes.
Is it a proper recording studio or is it just a hall, an auditorium, or?
It's like a purpose-built room that the Irish Chamber Orchestra are based there.
Yeah.
So this room was built, I'm not sure, it's not that old, and it sounds amazing in there because of that.
Right.
And it's kind of almost become an unofficial home for us because we've been using it on and off for a few years now. So we got together there to record this album. Initially, the idea was we'd go in and try and set up, do the whole thing live.
Right.
But it kind of there was a lot of leakage, bleeding, and it just
Yeah.
kind of wasn't working. So we kind of rethunk the whole thing and reset up there where we did bass, drums, guitar first, laid those tracks.
Yeah.
The kind of traditional way you would do an album, and then Dolores did the vocals after that, and then finally the strings went down at the end. Then
It seems like a thing that you might want to film. Did you guys film any of that stuff? Any of the recording or anything?
We got some footage, okay, at the end we did an EPK.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's footage of us rehearsing with the quartet.
Yeah. Sounds amazing. It's the Cranberries in the studio with us. We got Dolores and Noel from the band. It's you've worked with Stephen Street, I guess, on a few of your albums, including, I guess, the last one, right?
Yes.
So immediately, I think Stephen Street, you're recording an album and like Johnny Marr just decides to pop in and say hello to you guys. Did anything like that ever happen? Morrissey, Johnny Marr, or even, Damon Albarn from Blur?
No, but I just did an album with Andy from the Smiths.
Oh, did you? Really?
I did. I did a side project there last year, an album called Dark.
Yeah.
And the entire album did it with Andy and Ole Koretsky.
Ole is who is here in the studio with
Yes.
us as well.
And so we did that album, but it didn't really get released properly. I did zero press or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But it was a nice experimental album, and it was great to work with one of the Smiths.
Oh,
you
my
know?
God, yeah.
So now it's like we've worked with Stephen Street, and I've worked with Andy, and getting closer. but
Getting
never,
closer.
Never
Yeah.
met Morrissey yet.
Well, have you met Johnny Marr?
I haven't met him.
He's the best. He's been in here a couple times. Read his book if you're a Smiths fan. It's fantastic.
Is it?
Oh, so good. I mean, I read it in like 3 nights,
Yeah, is
before
it
bed.
good?
I was page turner. It's
Yeah,
thick too.
let's
It's
check it out.
fantastic. The Cranberries in the studio with us. We've got Dolores and Noel. Do you remember where your first New York City gig was?
Is it like the Beacon Theatre or something?
yeah,
Well, that's not too bad. It wasn't like CBGB's or anything.
No, we were lucky enough that we had kind of, by the time we got here,
Right.
we had built up enough of a following that it was decent enough.
First time we came to the States and we started touring extensively, we were doing college campuses.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
So-
Sometimes 2 shows a night.
Oh, yeah.
Do an early one and then they'd clear it
Old
all
school.
out, and then up again for the next run. Yeah.
2 sets. Yeah.
Six sets a night.
Yeah.
But I think what was the song "Linger" taking off at first, and you guys flew to L.A. from Limerick to shoot a video or something.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah.
So when you came to New York for the first time, you were like, "Oh, I got to get a slice of pizza. Oh, I got to go to CBGB's. Oh, were those things going through your head at the time? Anything in particular that stands out?
Well, it was just like being you grew up in Ireland, seeing New York on TV so often. It almost felt like you were on a film set.
Yeah.
You're walking around with the yellow cabs and the Empire State Building and all these things, that you've only ever seen on TV.
Right.
And walking around with your head like looking up the whole time.
We were raiding the minibar a lot, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we were young, and
Guilty.
we had never stayed in hotels with minibars, and our hotel was the Mondrian on Sunset
Oh, that's in L.A. Yeah.
in LA, and
Yeah,
we flew
yeah.
in there. It was our first time in America, but we kept taking all the booze and putting it in our suitcase, and then they'd fill it again, and we put it all. And I was bringing it back from my granny,
Oh,
and
right.
at the end they said,
Yeah, the
"Your
little bottles are like
incidentals."
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were checking out, they said, "Your incidentals," and we were like, "What?" We thought it was free.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they were looking for a load of money, so we'd open our suitcases and start
Put it
putting
all
the money
back
up
in, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
that
the cool
was-
thing. You get the first time you see a minibar, you check in, you're like, wait, there's a little closet here, and it's refrigerated, and you open it up, and there's like unlimited booze.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When
Okay.
you're a teenager, that's like a dream come
Oh
true.
yeah, absolutely. And speaking of teenagers, you were basically kids when Linger started taking off. I just wonder, through all the years, is there perhaps one really cool thing? And I asked this question of both of you. You're like, wow, I still can't believe I got to do that, being in the Cranberries, a particular gig or meeting one of your rock star idols or things like that.
There's been so many things, really. Like speaking of doing the Linger video earlier, like that the first time we came over here, we got to meet Michael Stipe.
Yeah.
Came down to.
Wow.
He knew one of the guys working on the video, and he came over, and it was one of the bands that we were growing up listening to through the 80s, and then you're standing there, like talking like we are now. It's kind of and it's little things like that along the way, and sometimes you play some massive shows over the years
Yes.
in countries so far away from where we grew up.
And
that
everybody knows the lyrics.
Yeah, and you're pinching yourself thinking this is a dream. It's not really happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dolores, anything come to mind?
Yeah, 94 we did Woodstock, and then also in 94 Pavarotti and Friends, I duetted with Pavarotti, and that was quite an experience,
Wow.
He's such a great voice, you know. So I did the Ave Maria with him, and I also did a duet with Simon Le Bon. He was there as well, and there was a lot of artists there that year. Meatloaf, and I got to meet all these artists, you know,
Oh, my
Bono,
God.
Edge, and Brian Eno, and we were all up on stage singing together. And then I
Wow.
suppose the other highlights were we opened up for AC/DC and the Stones for a run there in Europe, and that was a great experience to open up for those guys. So we got to meet them briefly. And
Do you have a
stuff.
Keith Richards anecdote?
No.
Brian Johnson, Angus Young.
No.
I mean, two of my favorite bands right there, obviously. I mean, just,
So
yeah.
you should imagine having that opening slot. It was like a dream, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you get to that point where you're on those huge stages, the stage is so big. It's sort of like, wow, it's not a club we're playing. I have a lot more room to run around and
Big
go crazy.
ego ramp.
Yeah,
We're
the
in our
big ego
forever.
ramp. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We're in the studio with the Cranberries. We've got Dolores and Noel here. The new album, Something Else. And I see tour dates all around the world, and I'm hearing maybe New York City in September.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Well, you'll let us know what the exact venue and date is. I have a question. You guys are in Ireland. Do you watch this show on Netflix, The Fall?
No.
Have you heard of
Yeah,
it?
I've seen it. Yeah.
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 What do you think of it? You like it?
Yeah, it's great.
It's
Yeah.
Jamie Dornan from.
Is it on over here now? Yeah.
It's on Netflix. Yeah, over
it's
here.
really good. Yeah.
But I guess the premise is that it's in Belfast and there's a serial killer.
yeah,
And what's her name from the X-Files? Gillian Anderson
that's right.
plays an English detective
yeah.
in Belfast.
Oh yes.
And
I
Jamie
watched a bit of
Dornan
that.
is the serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is
It's,
it?
yeah, I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, I like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But you just reminded me, when you first got to New York City, you know, you felt like you were in a movie. All the people that are sort of directors that shoot television shows in New York City, they say that New York City is the best co-star.
Yeah.
You know, because all you do is hold up a camera, and it's like
Yeah.
automatically it adds something to it. You know, just because of the buildings and the.
Yeah, exactly. Even still to this day, walking around, you're kind of doing double takes. Did I see that in something? Or so many things look familiar.
Right.
Or it could be just in your head, but just walking around, it's fantastic. You probably don't appreciate it if you live here. It's
Right.
when you come here and visit
Yeah.
that you appreciate it more, I think.
But I watch Law and Order, so
Okay.
I know.
you
Yeah,
know
it's crazy. We're in the studio with the Cranberries, Dolores and Noel. The new album is Something Else. So tell me about this new song on here. Why? Because we got all the great songs on here reimagined, but one of the new songs is a song called Why. Tell us about that one, and then we'll spin it.
That song, I had it recorded for a little while. I had it recorded for about, I'd say 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. And I wrote it about a year and a half after my father died. And it was just one of
Oh,
those
boy.
songs where, why, like, wondering where people go, when they cross over to the other side. Is there
Right.
in between, what happens really?
Yeah.
It's very hard to take it all in when you actually have to go through it in life,
Yeah, you and I are in that same club. I mean, it's just it ain't easy, man, when it happens, It's just tough,
Yeah.
And it's part of life, unfortunately. But,
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll play that song, brand new from the Cranberries right now. It's called Why, from the new album, Something Else. We look for the show sometime in New York City in September. And Noel and Dolores, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Cheers.
New York's classic rock. Q1043.